You are now tuned in to Two Studs in a Pod with the dynamic duo of Blaze and Meech, a podcast giving you a candid glimpse into the world of super terrific Uber dykes, but you can call us studs. This week, we're dialing up better times and looking back to the good old days when we lived to see our favorite AOL screen name online. Now let's get into it. Meech, drop the beat. Welcome back to Two Studs in a Pod. You already know it's Blaze.
And the homie Meech.
This week, we're feeling nostalgic as we reminisce about the times when Black Planet and phone chat lines ruled the world. But before we enter the chat, Meech, fill us in on how you've been maintaining this week during these crazy times.
Man, this week has been pretty crazy. I can't even front. Like, a lot's been going on. A lot of people I know have been catching the corona. So it's been stressful. Had to work, which was even more stressful because we had a fire at work. Not a real fire, but, like an emergency. It had servers going down. So I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So it's been real stressful, but just trying to get through it. Praying for everybody that I know that has been diagnosed with the corona, and praying that everybody else does their part, stays safe, and tries to flatten the curve by staying their asses home, man.
Yeah,
what you been up to?
Just quarantine. I think this might be like the first real week where I really haven't left the house even to do the grocery run. Because we had groceries delivered and just been living off of what we already had, so we wouldn't have to go out and get any more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had a few months ago, I made a garden area for wifey because she wanted a garden so bad. So made a garden area for her, and things grew. We've eaten things from there, so that's been pretty cool. But it got overgrown and things had died. It was just time to clean it up, so I spent the day doing that, and it was hot out there. I mean, I know where you are. You said it was cool and stuff like that, but it's definitely hot. Hot where I'm at. Yeah. So the weather here has been extremely hot, and they even call it oppressive heat today.
Whatever that means.
Yes. Well, let me tell you, it was so hot. Like, the dog didn't even want to go outside. We were like, both of us in the middle of the day. I'm like, yo, you need to go outside. She's looking at me like, no, you need to go outside.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's been, it's been like that. I did my first video birthday thing. My nephew's birthday passed, and so I just spent the morning with him video chatting because that's the only way we can kind of link up.
Yeah. I forgot my niece's birthday. I had to do the FaceTime thing with her, and one of my nephew's birthdays too. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, now that we've gotten caught up and we're obviously way over Miss Rona, let's get into our first segment, which is Green Peas. And that's the portion of our show where we like to share new trends, any podcasts, books, shows, or whatever other things we found new and amusing to keep us entertained. Meech, what has been keeping your attention, or at least keeping you distracted lately?
Well, what's fresh on my mind is yesterday I binge watched Money Heist, but season 4, because I've already seen the rest of the season.
The beginning, yeah.
Yeah, that show is so dope, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I was mad that it was over. I was like, what? Episode 8? That's it? I need some
I know.
more. I was already Googling it, like, when is the next season come out or whatever. So hopefully this corona will blow over so they can start taping that, because
it was a large gap.
My favorite.
It was a large gap between the last episode of what they last showed and this one. But I think a lot of the reason behind that is because they didn't expect the show to be so popular. It was already filmed. They showed in different countries. It's filmed in Spain. That's like one of my favorite shows on Netflix. And so I know like a lot about it because I even watched the thing afterwards about it. I don't know. They robbing banks and like in an ill way. So that's I like that. I like
Yeah, I
that.
like that
So
kind of stuff.
yeah, so I know about that show. I know a lot about that show. It's like I love that show, and yeah. So they weren't expecting for it to be so popular. So I think that's another thing that caught them off guard because they were like over it already, and then all of a sudden Netflix bought it, and bam,
Yeah. And then they
yeah,
said that they taped like season 3 and 4 together, so they're probably gonna tape season 5 and 6 together,
yeah,
and then they
yeah,
release them whenever they want. So, but
yeah.
I need them to come on because I'm ready.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
that show is pretty it's pretty good. Like just the way that they even think about it, and they get you in that way where just when you're like and then
yeah,
something else happens, you're
it's
like,
over.
damn,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
really enjoy that.
definitely. Joined a
So
couple Netflix parties with wifey because we're still quarantined from each other. So I had her watch
yeah.
Hentified and a couple other things we just been catching up on. But that's it for the Netflix shows. What about you?
Um. Well, since we've got all the time right now, what I've been doing lately in my free time, if I'm out in the yard, is watching random shows on Netflix with Nikki. And recently, what we watched was something about L.A. There was a show about L.A. About Mr. Cartoon, who is a tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
He also did like old school graffiti. He's like a big figure in LA culture,
Mm-hmm.
and hip hop culture, and he was big with like Eminem, and especially when Eminem was the greatest, at his time when it was the
Yeah.
Eminem era. Yeah, he was really in with Eminem, and so in this show they're talking about different homeboys of theirs, and they had this one homeboy that they mentioned that he was a avid heroin user
Oh wow.
in his time. Yeah, and that it's possible by the way that they worded this that they may or may not have stuck an ice cube up his butt in order
What?
to stop him from having an overdose. And
Okay.
I learned something new in that moment that if somebody is ODing on heroin, you stick an ice cube up their ass,
And
and that brings them back. I mean, that would definitely bring me back. I mean, probably from death.
yeah.
Stuck an ice cube up my
What?
butthole.
How does that work? I don't know. I don't know that I would know anybody that would be ODing from heroin, let alone
Right.
stick an ice cube up anybody's butt. But okay, whatever
So
works, right?
that was one of those moments where when they say it on the TV, you look at each other and you're like, "Did he just say what I think he said?" I was like, well, that was
All right.
something new that I learned. That's something
I
new that
just
I
learned
learned this
something.
week. But on a better note, I did get a chance to do a little bit of reading, and there was an article that was actually recently published by New York Times Tea Culture magazine, and there's a feature on it in it on masculine presenting women, specifically studs and butches.
Oh,
Like we're actually mentioned as studs and butches, and they have spoken to many different artists who identify as studs and butches, and a little bit of the background and the meanings of the words and where they came from and how they're used and the people who the words represent. So I thought that that was pretty interesting and empowering to see us in such a major publish published article,
yeah.
and being represented and being seen for you know
You gotta
for
share
just
that
the
link with me so I could check it out.
oh yeah, definitely. I even posted something I think in our story about it too, but it's on I know that's on newyorktimes.com, so you can look for it there. It's called the rub don't make me lie now I can't even think of what what the article is called.
It's all good.
But uh,
Check check the
oh, the
IG.
Renegades, the Renegades. I was gonna say the Revengers.
You creating a whole new super team.
I know. Well, wifey had me watching some weird. Um, Descendants or something like that
Oh
on
yeah.
Disney Plus, and I was like,
The
"What am I
Descendants.
watching?"
My God.
Yes, so that was something new that I discovered this week. The Descendants. Another thing, another article, and this is the complete opposite on the spectrum of the first article.
Mhm.
Like the New York Times Tea Culture magazine article is like upper echelon compared to this one.
Right.
But apparently, guys are getting beads shoved into their penis skin to have better sex.
What? What the? What the? What is wrong with them?
Um,
I don't know.
your guess is as good as mine. But
I
as
don't
soon as I started reading this article, I was like, thank God that I'm a lesbian.
know.
Because first of all, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be a guy and feel the need to have a bead
Right.
shoved in my man parts to, be satisfying.
I don't
And
know.
then
Maybe they're trying to compete with some of the
the toys.
dildos out there. Yeah, that
Yes.
have the beads in them.
And the crazy part is a lot of them like end up having complications. I'm like, you
Oh, you
think? Like
think?
that's an Audi, not an any. You
Right?
know what I'm saying? Like what? No, man. That's no bueno right
That
there.
is a no
So
no.
yeah, when I
Just
saw
get
that, I was
the
like, this
toy.
is a different end of the spectrum. I did see, speaking of new things, I did see that there's a new Tiger King episode. Did you happen to
Yeah. I
check
haven't
that
seen
out,
it,
man?
but that was on our Netflix party list, but we didn't get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't watched that either, so I
Yeah.
have to.
I saw the best Easter egg of the Tiger King. What's his name? Joe Exotica, and it was like Joe Egg Exotica with the
Really?
EGG, and they had like decorated it like him and everything, and they painted another egg like a tiger. It was the funniest shit I saw.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
floating around the
This Tiger
internet
King is everywhere. Like half the
everywhere.
emails at work are like, "Hey, cool cats and kittens," or
Yeah,
whatever it is she says. It's like, okay, we know you watch that crazy hot mess too.
yeah. It was just a mess.
Yes, yes, definitely a hot mess.
Hmm.
So that does it for green peas this week. Now let's get into the main event with a segment we like to call Stewed Peas, where we chop it up about our topic of the week. And this week we're taking it old school and remembering those awesome chat lines and chat rooms. Meech, were you ever heavy into the AOL chat room scene or phone chat lines, or how was your chat line
Oh,
experience?
I was definitely heavy into the AOL chat rooms. I think I met two of my first internet girlfriends there. It was just it was just fun. It was something to do. The dial up had to wait, connect,
Yeah,
and then just
that
searching for the
noise,
chat room. Yeah,
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 yeah, and nobody could be on the phone because if someone's on the phone,
exactly.
they
I
couldn't
would,
use it. Yeah,
if my mom picked up and cut me
killed
off
it.
from talking to
Yeah.
my, I would be mad as shit, bro. Yeah, AOL chat rooms, man. That those were the good old days, man.
Yo, my mom
I
played me. Like my mom played me. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put a second line in the house so that one could be dedicated to the." First, it was supposed to be my line, like my own phone line. 'Cause, that's about the age where you start using the phone a lot.
right,
And
yeah.
then all suddenly we got a computer, and now that's gonna be the phone. That's the phone dedicated phone line because nobody wants to get cut
Oh,
off. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or the phone would always be busy because everybody would be online all the time. So anyway,
yep.
my mom played me like that. But go ahead, my bad.
Nah, yeah, you're good. Yeah. So AOL chat rooms. I mean, I would try to find the lesbian chat rooms for sure because that was around the time when I was a teenager. So I was like, I didn't know where to talk to females in real life. I
Right,
didn't think I
right.
knew anybody, that was a lesbian or gay or bisexual or even curious when I was a kid. So I stay in them lesbian chat rooms. Sometimes it'd be like, we'd be getting catfished, and other times I would, hit them with the ASL and see if they want to start a private chat. And yeah, good times. Like,
Dang, private chats. I forgot about those. So
yeah,
you were having your own private chat on the sideline
yup.
while everybody was talking in the
Yo,
main group, and you'd have
that's
to
how I
keep
learned
like
how to
track of
type.
both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's how I learned how to type fast and multitask. That's how I'm putting
Yo,
that
for
shit on my
real.
resumes.
Keep a few thought processes going on. You
Yo,
might
and
have a
then I
few
had
chats open at that.
You gotta scroll back to make sure you typing the right information to the right person. Cause I
Yes.
forgot.
You
Damn,
might have some
did I ask
catfish.
her this already?
Yo, you might have some
Did she answer
catfishing you.
this?
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah,
keep
man.
Yeah, trying to keep the conversations the same so I'm not fucking up. They know I'm
Yeah.
talking to a whole bunch of people.
Yo, for real. Just
Yeah.
calling everybody baby.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I always try to find um rooms, I guess, like where people were closer to me so
Mhm.
that we could try to link up and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't always, that's not always the case, especially when you're dealing online. But AOL, man, that was the hot shit back in the day. And everybody was chatting. I mean, everybody was chatting. It didn't even matter.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
be
That was
young people,
everybody.
old people, everybody.
Yeah. Did you? So you never really fucked with the phone chat
Nah,
lines?
I never really did the phone chat lines.
Oh man.
I had too many people in my house. I could never get the phone. So
Oh nah.
yeah, I just stuck with the AOL chat lines because we had a separate line because my brother was into IT and all that shit. So my mom got the line for him. So I would just be on the AOL chats all the time.
Yeah, I mean on the AOL chat, I remember meeting this one girl on the AOL chat. I mean in person, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
like that. And I had told my mom that we met in the sneaker store or
Yeah.
something like that. Like I couldn't tell my mom I was just meeting this girl for
Right,
the
random
first time
people.
ever. Yeah, it's random people online. Like so, I had to come up with something, and that was it. I was like, yeah, we were in a sneaker store and. We were looking at the same pair of sneakers.
I know. All the times we could have got snatched up, boy. I
Yo,
had
for
met
real.
I had met a girl in this store. It was popping back in the day, Active Warehouse. So I was like, all right, we can meet there because I knew the store was gonna be crowded. And she worked there. She was older, and we ended up linking up and like going out on a couple dates. But like from AOL chat room to going to some dates, it was wild because I didn't know who the hell I was going to meet in this store. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
had a good.
I was just gonna say like AOL was all right, but for me it was really the phone chats. Like the phone chats
Oh
was where
yeah.
I really got it popping. Yeah, because a phone chat was like, you call, you leave your little message, your little sexy message in your little sexy voice. You know what I'm saying? With your music playing in the background, and boom, and you used to record that joint so many times just to get it just right. That's your little intro and. Yeah, so once I started, I don't even know how I found out about the chat line numbers, but once I got the chat line number, I was ridiculous with it. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. Yeah,
I
I was
think
calling.
if I would have known about them, I probably would have been more active in them.
Yeah, I was definitely active in those. I was linking up with chicks, um, all the time. Like, yo, meet me at the park. Yo, meet me at the park, because like I'm young, I don't have a vehicle or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, yo, meet me at the park. I would hop on the metro quick, fast, and in a hurry, especially like high school days and stuff like that when I had the free metro, the
The
free metro card. Yo, I was riding everywhere for free between counties, back and forth. I could get anywhere, and I could tell you I'll be there at whatever time. And most of the time was I was going to meet girls like I had met on the phone chat line. I remember even running up the phone bill on a phone chat line so bad. To this day, I don't think Sprint will let me get a phone with them.
oh damn.
Yes. Cause like especially as I got older high school, like junior, senior, or whatever, I started really
Mhm,
hanging out with a lot of punks that I knew. Like, we call them like gay guys, gay guys that we knew
mhm.
that would run stunts and things like that. And so they would teach me they would teach me some of their stunts. Like when it would come to the phone. And so I would be running those stunts just so I could be on the phone chat line.
Damn.
Yes. And literally, you sit there, you spend like, I don't know how long, like recording this perfect message just to keep pushing buttons and listening to the messages over and over and over
Mhm.
again until, like you find a message you like, right? Like you hear somebody's voice and you push a button and you're like, hey, what's good? Like, or whatever you say, you know what I'm saying? Hey, like, yo, what's poppin', little mama? I like your voice. You sound sexy, girl. And
Yeah.
then And then they would like accept your thing and say something back. Eventually, you would push a button. Now I just remember you push a button and you would connect, and now y'all having a whole phone call and talking
Oh
to each other.
wow.
Yeah, yes, and then you would see where it went from there. But yeah,
Damn.
man,
That
forward
sounds
chat
like
was
fun.
dangerous. Yes, I would do that shit sitting on the bus.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yes, on the way to somebody else's house.
Damn.
Shit was crazy. Did you ever have like a real relationship with somebody you met?
Um,
I mean, online, but you
I
met them in
met
person.
online, but we never met in real life. I had a relationship with this girl from like I don't know for like 3 years. I was like 14 or 15, and we just stayed in touch for like mad long. And we even like I would see pictures of her. Like I had chatted with her cousins. Um, we spoke. Ended up speaking on the phone, sent pictures and stuff back and forth. But she lived in Jersey. You know, I don't really venture to Jersey much. Or I didn't back in those days because I was a teenager, so I would have to hop on the bus or hop on the train and then catch the New Jersey Transit and all that shit. I wasn't doing that. But yeah, it went on for like 3 years. Like she ended up like after we stopped really going on chats and stuff like that. We both had the two-way pagers. We was talking to each other through the two ways and all that. Like it was heavy. Like we would talk to each other all the time, and then we lost touch somehow. I think I had graduated high school or whatever, and I'm in college now, so I'm not really with all that foolishness anymore. And then she ended up like writing me a letter, like this long ass letter, and all this stuff about you know whatever happened, and still trying to talk to me, but I never replied to the letter. I guess I'm kind of an asshole, but whatever. But yeah, so then by then I had met another chick on the AOL chats, but she lived in Cali, and like 20 years later, we still talk to this day.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, it's just a homie now, though. But like back then,
Mm, mm.
we were trying to talk like that, but it just never happened, even when I
Man, I
talked to
remember.
Kelly.
I remember cat. I mean, I don't know if you really want to call it catfish. I mean, I guess maybe, but I lied about my age. I used to lie about my age like crazy. And it was this lady. I mean, I was like 15, 16. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
trying to get to these women. So I remember I was talking to this lady. This lady was like 40 years old, bro.
Oh damn.
And she thought I was at least of age, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we carried on this conversation for a long time, like months. And then finally I was like, man, I'm like 16 or like I'm like 17 or something like that. She
Yeah.
was like, what? But she was like, you know what? I'm still willing to. And now that I think about it, I'm like,
Chester,
yo,
Chester.
for real. I
Yeah.
was like, damn, you were a cougar. You know what I'm saying? You trying to catch me mad early. That's how they try to get you
Yeah,
young.
and train you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like,
That's
oh, she
wild.
trying to get me mad early.
Yeah.
But and that joint was crazy. I'm trying to think of anybody else I ever like serious a relationship online. Nah, like more so from the phone chat, but not AOL. I did have this one girlfriend. She was in Chicago, but that didn't really pan out.
Yeah, I didn't really have any like serious relationships because a lot of the people I was meeting were from out of town. And
Right.
then I ended up with a girlfriend when I was talking to the girl from Cali. And I'm like, long distance relationship or immediate, something. So
Yeah.
that relationship ended up kind of breaking up the long distance relationship.
I think the same thing happened like with Black Planet. Did you ever spend any time on Black
Oh
Planet?
yeah,
Chat? Yeah.
Planet, Mi Gente, what were all the freaking MySpace, all
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Black Planet definitely was on there.
Oh shit,
Heavy.
yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, probably was
Yes,
I had a lot of online relationships. Not if that's what you want to call them, but yeah, I don't know. I just never. I met up with one girl, and then her cousin was like from my town, and then we ended up like meeting up with their cousins, and somehow like me and their cousins ended up becoming like really good friends. Like we still talk to this day, but the girl, I haven't seen her since like that first time we met up. It's crazy how shit works out.
for real. Because
Yeah.
I don't keep up with that. I do remember. I remember meeting this one chick, and she was swore me down. Like I met her on. I forget. uh, It wasn't. It had to have been on the phone. It wasn't. It wasn't online. But she swore me up and down. She could cook and blah blah blah. And I was like, all right. So I went all the way to her house, and now this is me on the metro, right? Like
Damn.
I'm footing it. I'm doing all that. Get to homegirl's house so we could chill, whatever. And I get there, and first of all, she did not look like anything that she described.
She got out the car looking like Freddie Jackson.
Yes, okay, exactly. Those were my thoughts exactly when I
Oh
saw her. I was
damn.
like, okay, but I'm not gonna be rude and be like, nah, like that. I'm like, all right, I came all the way down here. At least let me get a plate. You feel me?
Right, right.
So I get there, and I could tell you all I can remember was the corn from the can on the plate.
Oh no.
And I don't remember what else it was, but I thought she was trying to like poison me, and and maybe she had a collection of studs somewhere in her backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Can't be
uh,
eating from everybody, man.
yes, I think she's still waiting for me to come back from taking her garbage out.
Oh, oh, that's.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was like, I'll be right back. Never very. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
right.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. No, no.
No, I was skeptical about meeting people in person. Like that's why I had to like do the send me pictures and all that stuff shit with the AOL chats.
Yeah, but still, then sending me pictures. I mean, you
Yeah, I
see
know. I could
catfish.
have been
That's not. Yeah.
catfishing. Yeah, I don't know if people were
Okay.
too hip to the catfishing back then. Maybe because I was probably doing it too. But yeah.
Yes. I mean, I know I hit him off with a little catfish, and like I said, Nelly thought I was. I don't even remember how old she thought I was, but I was
Mhm.
definitely not as old as she thought I was. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're online, you could be whoever you wanted to be. You didn't have to be
Yeah.
who you were, and that's how it is now for folks. But some of us have more conscious than other. That sound means it's time for too many peas in the pot. This is the part of the show where we like to answer a few questions we've received and share with y'all some of the comments and reviews we've gotten from our listeners. This week, we've got a question from Steph in Palm Beach. Her
Question.
question is, my girlfriend's baby daddy is non existent, and I feel like sometimes I have to pick up the financial slack of him being a deadbeat. Do you have any advice on how to deal with the financial burdens of an absentee father? Meech, do you have any
Um,
thoughts on this?
I have a couple thoughts. I think I think there's some questions that need to be asked here. Like, did you know, what you were getting yourself into? Like, up front, I feel like if you know she has kids and you guys are gonna be in a serious relationship, at some point you kind of have to help out with certain things. That's just how it is. Um, how I think you should deal with it. I mean, I feel like she should like take the dude to court, or that should be between her and him. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to be with her and you're gonna you know be a part of her children's lives, then if the kids are not eating, I would hope that you would help out with some money there and groceries. But I guess whatever happens between your girl and the baby daddy, like she needs to step up and do her part in trying to get child support or whatever it is from him. um at the end of the day, like that's her responsibility. It's not really up to you. Like, what can you do? You know what I mean? Besides call, like, a private investigator and try to find the dude. Like, do you really want to do all that? But I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, like if you want to be in her life and you made that choice to be with her and you know that she has kids, then you just have to eat that, or don't be with somebody that has kids. What do you think about? I don't know what your thoughts are, B.
I mean, if he's not there, and he hasn't been there from the beginning, the jump, and she's obviously been holding it down, no matter what the struggle is, then she's been holding it down. And if you choose, and it's your choice, if you choose to put yourself in a relationship with someone that you see has to pick up the slack of absentee father, absentee partner in their child's life, then that's part of the risk. I don't know, or just the responsibility, not the risk, but the responsibility that you take on by putting yourself in a relationship with somebody who has kids. And I'm sure you knew that baby daddy was no good when you started dating her, before you started loving her kids, moving in together. I would assume, if you're picking up some of the financial burden, I'm assuming that you live together. Um,
Right.
so that's something that you would have known going in, and you would have had to make a decision based off of that. And the decision you made was to be with her. Now, I can understand being upset about it, because yes, you signed up for it, but no, you didn't sign up for that at the same time. Like, you can't help who you love,
Right.
but you're there. So you either have to man up, or for lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying? You got to man up, or just, you know, move on. So those
Yeah.
are really your two choices. I mean, you can talk to her about doing whatever, but even though she puts him on child support, like, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean he's gonna
Right.
pay. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just I mean, it's a tough situation to be in, especially at this point. I'm sure you care a lot about the kids and you love the mom, or else you wouldn't be struggling with to even stay or go. Some people be like, yo, you eating up all my money, I'm out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like that. But
Yeah. I mean, I think there's nothing you can really do. You got two choices, like B said. Either you stay and try to get a better job, or if it's whatever, you got to work some extra hours or figure it out, or you just leave. There's really no good choice here.
right. I mean, ultimately, what um determines what's the best choice is whatever is going to make you happy.
Right.
So if you can forget about him not being there financially, and you stepping up to the plate and you taking that space financially, then that's what it is. And helping her, then that's what it is. I mean, should he be there to help her just like he helped her make those kids? Of course, we all know that. We all know that's the case. But is he going to be? Only he knows that. So instead of stressing yourself out about it, just be at peace with the decision to either do it or don't, or move on. What were you gonna
Facts.
say?
I
Yeah,
was gonna say you gotta make the best of it.
yeah. Thanks for the question, Steph. We appreciate it. It's always dope when we get to help our listeners. If you missed it, be sure to catch our recent review on the Regulator Podcast featuring Nick. You can find the Regulator Podcast on Twitter at the Regulator Podcast. That's TheRegulatorPodcast. The Regulator Podcast. Shouts out to our pod all the time, PN fam. I Think We're Doing It podcast, Raw Sex podcast, Round and Round the podcast, Real aka The Truth podcast, Random Unnamed podcast, Another Digital Citizen, Suburban Folk, History of Haunting, 3Ps Up in a podcast, The Creative, Intuitive, and Scarlet TCP. Let's grow, let's grow. And on that note, we're going to end the show here. If quarantine has you craving a little more stud in your life, you can find us on IG and Twitter at 2studsinapod. Please feel free to send us your questions and comments by sliding in our DM or shooting us an email at 2studsinapod@gmail.com. That's TWO studsinapod@gmail.com. Heads up that your question or comment could be shared on an upcoming episode. Two Studs in a Pod is available on multiple major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and Radio Public. Gratitude is always the attitude, so we want to say thank you for lending us your ear.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.